Hi, welcome. My name is Terri Schafer, and I am your National Sales Director with Mary Kay. And I just first want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to jump on this education so that way you can continue to learn the skills necessary to win in your business and, of course, your life as well. And so I'm just excited to be able to contribute to you over the next 50 minutes. And today's topic, by the way, is all about how to work your business full circle. And basically, what that means is that when you work your business full circle, you're maximizing every time that you sit down with someone, every opportunity, every facial, every party that you have. And this is, again, one of my favorite skills. So I'm blessed to have the privilege to be able to share with you what I've learned along my journey. So I want to start though by sharing with you just a quick story. It does come out of this book by Joyce Myers called Power Thoughts. It's an excellent book. It teaches you how to win the battle of the mind. And in this book, it was basically just showing a story, a theory, that how we ask questions really does make a difference. So there was a soldier who was in a military mess hall at the end of a chow line, and there were a total of 300 soldiers that were going to come through this chow line, and for every 100 soldiers, he needed to ask a different question. So the first question that he asked was, you wouldn't want an apricot, would you? You wouldn't want one. And 90% of the soldiers said, no, nope, don't want an apricot. Well, the second group of 100 soldiers that went through, he switched the question up and he said, would you want an apricot? And at that time, 50% of those soldiers took at least one apricot. Well, the last 100 soldiers that went through the line, he had to offer a choice, basically. And he said, would you want one or would you want two apricots? Which is best for you? Do you know that 90% of the soldiers selected one, if not two apricots? So basically, how we ask questions at our party does make a difference. And so that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. I do know this is that a master in any business will master their skills. You can also language it this way. Anybody who wants to become a professional, we all start as an amateur. And as we learn our skills, we can become over time a professional in any industry that we're in. So I'm so excited to teach you, again, what I've mastered along my Mary Kay journey. Okay, so the full circle process, this is what I truly believe. When you are a brand new consultant, the full circle process will promote you up the career path. So we all come in as an independent beauty consultant, and then we can promote ourselves to senior consultant. And as we continue to work our business full circle, we can promote ourselves to star team builder, and we continue to work full circle, and we can promote ourselves to a future director, into DIQ, into becoming a brand new sales director. And as you continue to work your business full circle, you can promote yourself into pink Cadillac, a top sales director, a national sales director with Mary Kay. Really, truly, the sky is the limit when you learn to work your business full circle. And again, that's what I get to share with you today. You know, I believe truly that your success at a party or facial, it really does begin before you ever walk through your hostess's door. So here's some of the thoughts that I have around that. One is to establish a rapport with your hostess. And again, if it's a facial, of course, establish a rapport with the woman that you're going to, or man, that you're going to put the product on. You know, you're going to want to find out what their skincare needs are. You're going to want to find out what they want. If they're a hostess, you're going to find out what hostess credit are they most excited about, maybe a free product that they're going to receive, or product at a great discount. And so you're going to want to know what that is. And of course, it's always important to get the guest list. You know, I was taught years ago that if I don't get a guest list from my hostess, I might as well put TNT next to that date in my calendar, because my director taught me that it will probably blow off your books if you don't get the guest list. And of course, once you get the guest list, something else that's really important to do is to call each and every guest or text them and ask them about their skincare needs. And this is where you get to establish a rapport with the guest as well, and let them know that they make a difference by showing up for your hostess, because that's how she's going to earn her hostess credit. I believe that is so important. It starts again right there, right when you book that appointment, not when you walk through the door at that appointment. Something else that I truly believe in, by the way, is your image as an independent beauty consultant is really important, because they're coming to you for advice on their skincare regimen. They're coming to you for advice on color. They're coming to you for advice on what they might need based on their skincare results that they have at that very moment. And so one of the things that I learned to do also is just take the time to understand your product. When I was a brand new consultant with Mary Kay, I was working at a construction company with all guys. And at nighttime, I was going to school full time to become an accountant. And so my wardrobe was extremely limited, and I wore very little color cosmetics. However, I knew that if I wanted to promote my product, that I wanted to find a natural look that I felt very comfortable with. Still to this day, I would have to say that I'm pretty natural when it comes to my color. My wardrobe was very limited. And so I did have a black skirt that was next to nothing that I bought at Target. And I had that skirt, and I always wore it with a white blouse when I went to my success meetings, because I knew that it wouldn't take very much time at all to promote myself into Star Team Builder, where I was just really getting ready to put that red jacket on that we all get to wear in the company once we have over 3 team members. And so I was just always prepared for that. But one of my very first goals in the company was, with the profit that I earned, is to take that profit after my first month and invest in a beauty coat. And guess what I have on today? I have on my beauty coat today. I tell you what, I put it on years ago, and I don't ever take it off, because I know that my family eats and lives off the results that I produce. So the more I have this beauty coat on, the more my family gets to live a lifestyle that we have created together. So beauty coat. Okay, so something else I just want to talk to you about prior to kind of getting into the full circle concept is a little bit about product. This was also really big for me, because I wanted to make sure that every single appointment that I had product available for my future customers. So I want to share with you what I did years ago. So when I made the investment in having product on hand, I made investment in having skincare sets on hand, I should say that. And so what I did is, when I got the guest list and I pre-profiled the guest, it's really simple, because either they have normal to dry skin, or they have combination to oily skin. So once I found that information out, I have my skincare roll-up bag. And in the first pocket of my roll-up bag, I had the skincare. Let's just say I was talking to Sally. And Sally said, "Terri, I have normal to dry skin." Well, I don't know if you noticed or not, but on the back of the actual product itself, it either has a pink stripe or a purple stripe. Well, the pink one stands for that they're normal to dry. Purple stands for their combination to oily. So once I knew, I would put in the top pocket of the roll-up bag that product. So let's say she's a normal to dry. Okay, great. So I put the cleanser and moisturizer in the top pocket. That's for normal to dry. And then I put the day and the night solution in the second pocket. And then in the third pocket, I put the microdermabrasion plus the firming eye cream. See, because the second and the third pocket of your travel roll-up bag, that's standard for everybody. Everyone uses the day and night solution. Everyone uses the microdermabrasion plus the firming eye cream, right? And so, and of course, that depends too a little bit on their age. Sometimes they could be clear proof product, and of course, sometimes depending on their age, they could be in the repair product. But for the most part, all of my parties were time-wise products that I let the women try on. And so what I would do at the top of my roll-up bag when it was rolled up, if they were normal to dry, I would tie a pink ribbon on my travel roll-up bag, a big bow. And if they were combination to oily, I will tie on a purple bow. And that tells me, oh, this is for Sally who has oily skin today. Something else that I always loved to do, let's see if I can find it, yes, right here, is I always made sure that I attached a little name card. This one basically says, smile, you're beautiful. And on the back side, I wrote their name on the back side. One of the things that I learned in my Mary Kay business years ago is that ownership, being able to touch it, smell it, feel it, that's 9/10 of the law. So basically, out of every 10 people that sit down with you, if they have this available to take home with them, they're likely 9 times out of 10 to take it home with them. So I wanted to make sure that I was just like a cosmetic counter. I wanted to make sure that I was just like a department store where people would come in, they would try the product, they would exchange money for the product, they would take it home, the transaction was over because it's a business. So I wanted this business to be a business for me. I did not want to have my customers wait. I wanted them to be able to, again, be able to touch it, feel it, take it home with them. Now, of course, this travel roll-up bag, I just want to say this too, that was sitting in front of them, actually was right behind their tray, the product that they were using. What the product that they were trying on that day did not come out of their bag. This is for them to buy and take home. It came out of my, we have demo bags, right? So I had a demo bag, and so I just worked out of my demo bag, and then they got to take this one home with them. Okay, so product available was so big for me as a new consultant because, again, I wanted it to be a retail business. And, that's the beauty of our company is we actually have a product to sell and it's consumable. So when our customers run out of that product, they're going to need more of it. So that is product available, again, very important to me because I wanted to have every single person that was sitting down with me to be able to have it available to take home. 9/10 of the law, right? So I want to share with you a story now. So years ago, again, my boys are grown. Actually, I have one left in high school at this point, and by the time you watch this video, he could be graduated by now. And so it was a blessing because when I first started my Mary Kay business, I was single. And then I got married, and then we had Daniel and had Noah. And so at one time, I had an infant and a toddler at the same exact time. So my husband, my entire time I've been Mary Kay and also married to David, he works full time. He has his own business and he worked. The story goes like this. He was working all day long, and there was a time that I was becoming a national sales director with Mary Kay in my early 30s. And he got home. I passed over the babies to him, and he got to take over. I left, and I went and did a skincare party. And I sold a lot of product at that party. I think there were about 5 women in attendance, and on average sold about $100 per face. And I came home and I was so excited. And I said, David, you're not going to believe it. I just sold $500 worth of product. And I was really happy because I knew that was $250 profit for our family, and I was only gone for 2 hours. And so he was like, Terri, that is so good. And I want to let you know that when I first started to date David, one of the things that I made sure that I did is I interviewed my husband, not to recruit him, but I interviewed David because I wanted him to thoroughly understand this business, because I thought this, if he's not going to support me, I can't marry him. I did not join Mary Kay, by the way, with him already in my life. I joined Mary Kay single, and Mary Kay was already a big part of my life. I was a sales director when I met him. And so I knew that it would be important that he understood this business and that he supported me in this business, for me to marry him, basically, because I knew that this was going to be my career. So I interviewed my husband. And so he understood this business. He understood the design of the business. He understood what Mary Kay taught the consultants. And so he was like, super great. I'm so proud of you. You sold product. Yay. And so he did celebrate me for a moment. And then he started to ask me some key questions. And the first question that my husband asked me was, how many referrals did you get from that party? Because David knew that if all I did was sell the product, then I basically was going to feed my family for that day, but I was not feeding my family for a lifetime, basically. And so he said, how many referrals did you get? And I said, David, I was so busy. It was so much fun. They were asking me all these product questions. I was answering those questions. And so I sold product, but I didn't ask for the referrals. And he said, okay, he goes, I got that. And we were talking a little bit. And then he said, okay, so I have a second question for you now. And I'm like, what? And he goes, how many of those women that you sat down with, you had 5, how many of those women scheduled a second appointment to be held with their friends that you haven't met yet? And I just kind of was like, okay, look, I did not do that because I was running to and from my car. I was, gathering extra product that I was selling. It was so much fun. We were laughing. We were having a good time. And you could just see this look that came over him. And I'm like, uh-oh. And then I was like trying to make me look good by like, but I sold product, right? And then he asked that final question. And that final question was, Terri, how many of those women out of the 5 did you schedule to tell about the Mary Kay business opportunity to? And I just looked at him and I'm like, you know what? I didn't. At that point, I think I was a little like put off. I'm like, I didn't tell anyone about the business. I didn't schedule anyone to tell about the business. And he just looked at me, and then he spoke up. He actually told me what was in his head. And he said, look, here's the deal. And so what I'm about to say, by the way, it's a little tough. And he said, look, he said, I work all day long and we have babies. And if you're going to leave the house once I get home to work your Mary Kay business, and if you choose not to do this business the way that it was designed to be done, because it's a choice, then I'm going to ask you no longer to do this business, because basically by you not doing this business the way that it's designed, you are truly wasting our family's time. You're away from our family. You're feeding us for a day, but there's nothing for the future. You can't feed us for the future. And, I was kind of put off, to be real honest with you. I was a little upset. I was a lot upset that night because I thought, why can't you just celebrate me? And I think I was upset that night because I knew what he said was the truth. And so I went into my bedroom that night after the boys were in bed, and I closed the door. And that was the first night in our marriage that I actually went to sleep. And I'm telling on myself right now, but I went to sleep without saying anything to him that night, because I think I was hurt, but more than anything, I knew he was right. And I woke up in the next morning, and I thought, okay, Lord, I got it. I understand. And what I understood is that if I was going to be a professional in this business and spend time away from my family, then I needed to be a professional in this business and do my job 100%. See, because selling the product is just only one point of the 4 pieces of the skincare party. And so I thought, okay, from this point forward, I'm going to make sure that every time that I'm sitting down with anybody, it could be one person, it could be 5 people, any time that I sit down with anybody, I'm going to make sure that I ask them not only for the referrals, I'm not only going to ask them to purchase the product sets, I'm going to schedule them for a second appointment to be held with their friends. And I'm also going to make sure that I tell them about the business opportunity. And so from that point forward, I said, what do I need? What do I need to do this? And so years ago, I created a form, and you can actually find it on my website, terrischaffernsd.com, under boot camp. It's in the second session. It's called Work Full Circle. And so basically every time that you sit down with somebody, you can literally put their name on this paper, and I can put Sally, and then I can ask myself, how many referrals did I get from Sally? And I can put that number down on my form. How much did I sell to Sally? And I can put that number down on my form. Then I would say, did I schedule Sally for a second appointment to be held with her friend that I haven't met yet, or friends? I could put that number down, or yes or no, did I or did I not? And then did I schedule Sally to tell her about the Mary Kay business opportunity? And then what was the result of me sitting down with her to tell her about the business opportunity? And so from that point forward, every single phase that I put the product on, I became very responsible for listing what I did. And I have to tell you, another thing that did for me is it really gave me the opportunity to look at where my strengths were in the Mary Kay business. And I could also look at areas that I could really build on. And so this got me so good at every single party and every single person I put the product on. I actually have a girlfriend of mine who says to me, and I think it's kind of funny, but kind of true. She says, Terri, it's like you get all the meat off the bone. Anytime that you have an appointment, by the time you get back, there's nothing left for you to do because you did it all. And I thought, wow, what a compliment. I mean, I wouldn't language, you got all the meat off the bone as a compliment, but that is really a true compliment, that when you go in there, you can have more results with 5 people than most consultants in our company can have with 25 people. And that is working smarter, right? Not harder. And that's what I want you to do in your business. Okay. I want to kind of break this down for you a little bit too, and I took some notes so I can definitely talk to you about this. I want you to write something really fast, and please don't laugh at this because I am not an artist. I'm very good at Mary Kay though, but this actually, see that's a car. That's kind of a car. And so what I would like for you to do is just draw a car for just a second, and these little circles, those circles basically represent wheels. And how I came to just, I'm really big at visuals, I guess. That's the best way I can language it. And I looked at it this way. Every time I work my Mary Kay business, I want to make sure that 4 wheels to the vehicle of success are completely aired up, filled up, and ready to go. I look at my Mary Kay business as a highway to success. I look at my Mary Kay business as a highway of success that will lead me to the preferred lifestyle that I want for my family. And so if you've ever wondered, I know I've been in my Mary Kay business for years now, and I did promote myself up the career path fairly quickly. I joined Mary Kay at the age of 19, won my car at the age of 20, became a sales director with Mary Kay at the age of 21, and became a national sales director with Mary Kay at the age of 34. And I have to tell you, when I look at Mary Kay, the company, the women, the independent beauty consultants and sales directors, if they ever feel stuck, if you ever hear someone say, well, I'm stuck in my Mary Kay business, or if you see someone who wants to become a sales director, but they seem to be stranded on the side of the road sometimes in their business, I can promise you it's usually one of 2 things. One, they're not in front of enough people, number 1. And then if they are in front of people, are they intentionally working their business the way that Mary Kay designed it to be worked? So if you think about wheel number one in your Mary Kay business is asking, and that's going to be the key word. When you ask, you will receive. So key number one is making sure that you ask for referrals. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in just a second. On average, one of the things that you'll want to know across the country today, when you ask, on average, it's about 4, if not 5 referrals per person. So if you're sitting down in front of 30 people and you get 4 referrals, oh my gosh, you now have 12 new leads, right? So 3 people times 4 leads. So you now have 12 leads that you can work with in your Mary Kay business, future business. Okay, the second will of your Mary Kay business is making sure that you sell product. And of course, you're going to have to ask. And so we're going to talk about that in just a second too. But on average, across the country, when you present skincare sets, the average client in Mary Kay purchases $100. That's exciting, right? So that is will number 2. Will number 3 is making sure that you schedule second appointments to be held with their friends that you have not met yet. Okay, so their friends that you have not met yet, second appointment. So when they buy the skincare, you want to sit back down with them. You want to make sure that the product is working for them. You're going to do a customized glamour look on them. You're going to introduce their family and their friends to the skincare line. And so that second appointment, on average, across the country, when you ask, keyword being ask, is that half of the women that you sit down with will book a second appointment with you when you ask. And then the fourth and final will of your Mary Kay business is to make sure that you ask the women and men to listen to the Mary Kay business opportunity. And so again, on average, when you ask, and I love that when you ask, because, I look at it this way. I'm going to ask everybody. I'm going to be like Cinderella in the shoe. Would you like the product? Would you like the business opportunity? Would you like the product? Would you like the business opportunity? My job is to ask, and it's their job to decide if it fits them or not, if it's a good product line for them, if it's a good business opportunity for them. And I look at it this way. They can say no and nothing changes in my Mary Kay business. And if they say yes, everything changes in my Mary Kay business when it's a yes. My customer base grows. I have a new superstar to work with in my business. And that's exciting, but we have not, again, because we ask not. And so just like the soldier, would you like 1 or would you like 2? And 90% of the answers are yes when you ask in a positive way. So we're going to talk about that again in just a little bit. So that's the fourth will. Anytime that you have a car and all 4 wheels are aired up and you work your business consistently, you can take your car swiftly down the highway of success. Anytime, like I was doing years ago when David had a conversation with me, and I only had done 1 of the 4 wheels. I had sold a product, but I did not ask for referrals. I did not schedule those second appointments. I did not schedule those interviews. Basically, I literally stranded my business on the side of the road. I could feed my family for that moment. But my mom used to say, who was my recruiter, when you're out of bookings, you're out of business. And so when I did that party and I didn't get those future bookings, future referrals, I pretty much could have put myself out of business that night. And so that's when I decided, when I woke up in the morning, like, look, if I'm going to do this business, I'm going to do this business the way that Mary Kay taught it to be done. I have a girlfriend, by the way. I actually have a couple of girlfriends, national sales director peer girlfriends of mine. They're my peers, and they joined the company, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 years later, after joining the business as a brand new consultant, just like you, who purchased their starter kit just like you, chose an inventory option just like you, and they became national sales directors in record time. And when asked how they did it, basically they were always focused on results, and their goal was to win a pink Cadillac or to become a national sales director, promote themselves up the career path. And they knew that the way to do that was to put product on faces intentionally full circle. And so they did what we call a power start in Mary Kay. And a power start is 30 faces in 1 month, intentional full circle work. And they did that for 2 consecutive years in a row, consistently every month. And because they were working smart and not hard, the end result is they promoted themselves into pink Cadillacs. They promoted themselves into national sales directors, earning top director trips in our company. And so I know this, if they can, so can you, if you choose that for yourself. Now, I want to kind of break this down. I believe that, everyone has time to do 1 party a month, 2 parties a month, 3 parties a month, 4 parties a month. It takes you on average 2 hours to do a party. And I would venture to say that, if we take our mind off of our distractions, and you can language what your distraction could be, all of the distractions that we have in this world, if you just added that time up, I am pretty sure that you could probably find about 2 hours of your time weekly to do a party, or maybe even 4 hours or 5 hours a week. So listen to this. If you were just to do 10 parties for the month, that's it, 10 parties a month. It's about two parties a week plus a facial, right? So at the end of the month, if just you had your hostess plus 2, that's it, hostess plus 2. You did 10 parties, that's 3 people in attendance. That would be 30 people that you would get to have the opportunity to work your business full circle with. And so listen, I love this. This is what excites me the most, is that, okay, so you do 30 faces. If the average person gives you 4 leads at the end of your month 1 of working your business intentionally, you would have 120 new leads to work with. That's what I love about this business, because the business you do today will, it's like a ripple effect for the next several months in a row. Well, forever in your Mary Kay business. Okay. So exciting, because 30 faces, right? Because you did 10 parties. So 30 faces times $100 per face on average. Guess what? That's $100 per person, $3,000 in products sold. That means $1,500 profit in your pocket. What could you do today with an extra $1,500 in profit? Go ahead and write that down. What would you do today with an extra $1,500 in profit? Okay, so it gets even better, because when you sit down with 30 women and you ask, that's the key word again, right? So when you ask them to schedule a second appointment to make sure that their product, their skincare, is working for them, then guess what? That is, so half of 30 average. That means 15 future parties for you the next month. 15. Seriously. That's why my business has never stopped. People are like, but I'm out of family and friends. And I'm like, I know, you should have a ton more business when you work it to the design that Mary Kay created years ago. And then lastly, when you share the Mary Kay marketing plan, on average, half the people will say yes, that they'll listen to the Mary Kay marketing plan. That gives you 15 women that you can share the Mary Kay marketing plan with. Okay, so 15 women statistically across the country, 1 in 5 will say yes to you. So if 1 in 5 say yes to you, guess what? 15 interviews that will give you 3 new team members. 3 new team members. So if you know the career path in Mary Kay, and if not, I'm going to teach it to you right now. When you have 3 active team members on your team, you are officially a star team builder, meaning that you can wear that beautiful red jacket that you probably have seen at the success meetings that you have gone to. So that's really exciting. I love that. Now, just a little bit more information. So from the time that I start the skincare class, I let the people around the table know that they are entitled to 2 appointments with me. The first one is to introduce them to the product, to introduce them to the skincare, to introduce them to just basic color. And the second appointment that they have with me is to make sure I'm going to sit back down with them in about a 2-week time period, within 2 weeks, and I'm going to look at their skin. I'm going to listen to what they say. We're going to tweak the product if need be. Maybe they're getting a little too dry, and so we need to go ahead and switch out that moisturizer to make sure that it's absolutely perfect for them, because we don't want that customer just for a one-time purchase, we want that customer for life, right? And so I get excited about this because I know that if I can sit back down with them, we can fine tune their product. And at the same time, I'm going to give her a customized color look just for her. And then about 30 minutes after I arrive and take care of her, then her friends are going to come in. I'm going to introduce them to the basic color. And guess what? Any product that she purchases, her friends purchase that day, when she has friends there at that second appointment, then she's going to get whatever she wants in addition to her very first product purchase 2 weeks ago at a great discount. Now, I'll definitely talk to your sales director about this because everyone has a little bit of a different hostess program. Mine is based on how many people show up. So if she's got 3 people who show up, then she gets a 30% discount that day. If she's got 5 people that show up, she gets a 50% discount that day. And I do stop it at 50% because that's the highest discount that we get as a Mary Kay beauty consultant. So I definitely don't want to take money out of my pocket, but I'm not willing to, and I am willing to give my discount away to my hostess when she's got 5 new people in front of me that don't already have a consultant that are 18 years of age or older. And so I love that. So I tell them, like, look, 2 appointments. The first one today to introduce you. The second one to fine tune the product to make sure you're getting the results that I promise you and to give you a customized color look based on what it is that you might be looking for. A natural look, a dramatic look, but we get to create that for you. And something that I like to do is I always have a gift, something like this. Well, this pretty much wrapped up, and this is a hand cream, and all it is a hand cream wrapped in a little cellophane bag, and I have my business card on the back side of it. But I will hand this to the hostess basically when the class begins. And I will say every time that I say second appointment, every time I talk about when we get back together again, when we fine tune your product, then I want you to pass this prize around. And at the end of the party, whoever has this sitting at their setting, you get to take this home with you. And so that's just kind of a reminder for me to constantly talk to them about that second appointment. So that way, when I'm sitting down with them at the very end at those individual closes, they're like, yeah, I need to schedule that second appointment because they already heard it 7 different times, right? Okay, something else I'm going to just share with you too is I just talk a lot about ownership. And so I talk a lot about, well, I ask a lot of positive questions like, don't you love that product? Doesn't it feel great? So I do love to ask a lot of positive questions. But I also have a lot of body language. A lot of my body language is constantly like, so don't you just love that? Because it's very difficult for them to shake their head no when you're shaking your head up and down like a yes. And I like to be able to say things like, when you take your product home with you tonight, or you know what, I have 2 cleansers, one in my shower and one at your sink, because otherwise you're having to do that naked dance from your shower to your sink to grab your cleanser, so you might as well take 2 home with you tonight. I might say something like, wow, don't you love the results that you have tonight? And just imagine the results that you're going to get once you have used your product for 2 weeks. Wow, look at the results that Mary Kay promised you. That's what I'm promising you. And so after 2 weeks of using that product, that's why we want to sit back down to make sure that you're getting those results. So when you take your product home, we're going to be able to experience this for you. And so it's a lot of, like ownership questions, I guess I would say, or comments. The last thing I think I could share with you about just kind of setting the class up is use your flip chart. Mary Kay has designed a flip chart for you, and inside of my flip chart, I can tell you that I have stars in my flip chart. I have sticky notes in my flip chart. I have highlighted marks I've written in my flip chart, and this is to simply remind me of the 4 skills. Have I asked for referrals? Have I sold product sets, skincare sets? Have I talked to them about their second appointment to be held with their friends? And have I told them that I'm going to share with them a little bit more about the business opportunity, or I would love to get their opinion of the facts of the business? And so those are just my reminders, because once you write it down, when you write it down, you kind of write it in. It's kind of like you just start to remember, oh yes, that's my next step. Oh yes, that's my next step. And so my flip chart is cluttered to remind me of some of the things that I want to do to make sure that I'm working my business effectively. And so those are some of my last thoughts, but let me just take you through those skills now. And so I'm going to grab something really fast. So skill number one, remember, is to ask for referrals. And so I wanted to share with you what I do, and I have some little prompts here. So before the class is over with, towards the end of the skincare class, one of the things that I like to do again is to ask for referrals. Who do you know? And one of the things that I do, because this is so important to me, because I realize that this is the future of my business, and it means the world to me. I mean, I think seriously, I would rather have 20 new leads than $200 of the product sold, because I know that 20 new leads will lead to future business for me. So I just tell my customers, I'm like, the best compliment, which is the best compliment that you can give to me, is the gift of your family and your friends, the people that you know, that you believe would enjoy having a skincare and color specialist. And so if you can think of just a few people that you know, that you believe would enjoy my service, if you could just give me their names, numbers, that would truly mean the world to me, because it does. And that, again, just for you to know, is what has fed my family for the last several years, that has allowed me to stay at home and to raise my boys, that has allowed me to homeschool them for 3 years, that has allowed me to send them to private schools and now college. And so it does mean the world to me, because that's my future, and I know that it is. And so I just simply ask. And so I've learned to ask a couple of different ways. First I just tell them, it would mean the world to me if you can think of just a handful of people. Just take your customer profile, flip it over. On the top right-hand side of your profile is a space provided for names and numbers. And anyone who can give me 5, I'm going to give you a travel size hand cream. And so this is just literally a travel size hand cream. And I put a piece of candy in it, and I put a different sample, something that we have not tried at that party, so that they can take it home and try that sample. And so anyone who is able to give me 5 leads, then they get to take this travel size sample of hand cream home with them. And so everybody who gives me 5 gets that gift. Something else that I've done throughout the years, and I put index cards beside their tray, and I've numbered them 1 through 10. And I just simply tell them, if you are able to give me 10 referrals today, then you can select any glamour item of your choice at half price. And so they love that. So, anyone, and you might choose to do both of those. Anyone who gives you 10, not only do they get a travel size hand cream, but they'll get to choose any color item, not any item, but any color item at half off that day. So it could be a mascara at 50% by giving you 10 referrals that day. But gosh, think about this. If you have 4 people in attendance and each of them give you 10 leads, that's 40 new leads for you to be working with. That's so exciting, right? And so something else that I have done is there is this sheet called Beauty of Friendship. And again, you can go to my website, go to Bootcamp, go to bookings, and Beauty of Friendship basically is kind of like a tic-tac-toe game almost, but there's space. Let me see if you can see that. So let's just say at that top right-hand corner, which is I think your left-hand corner, so if they gave you a name and a number right here, and if that person sits down with you and has a facial, then the client of yours who gave you that name and number, they would get a free cheek color. And so there's a free eye primer, a free eyeliner, a free lipstick. And so basically she has space provided for 9 names and numbers. And again, when that person sits down with you and tries the product, then the client who gave you those names would get that free product. And that's her incentive to give you those names and numbers. So to me, I don't really, it doesn't matter to me how you choose to get your referrals. Just make sure that you ask for them. And so again, you can do an index card 1 through 10. You can just do a product gift, a small travel size hand cream for giving you 5. It could be a beauty of friendship where they're earning retail products for having people sit down with you. And I love that part. So that's part 1. So remember, that's will number 1. Will number 2 is basically selling the product. And again, one of my goals, and I know I did not say this today, but one of my goals as a new consultant was to establish 100 skincare customers. 100 skincare customers. And I gave myself, that was a goal that I had, and I wanted to do that consistently. Every week, putting the product on 2 faces. A lot of people are like, but you were working and going to school full time, but that was only 2 skincare customers a week. And I knew if I did that consistently throughout the year, I would have 100 skincare customers. Now, some people don't want to take a year. Some people are like, okay, I will establish 4 skincare customers within my first 6 months and have 100 customers within my first 6 months. And some people, this is full time for them. So they're like 8 customers, 8 skincare customers. And by the way, when I say skincare customers, you know, right now, Mary Kay, we're number 1 in brand loyalty. The reason why we're number 1 in brand loyalty is because once someone becomes established as a skincare customer, they rarely leave our skincare product. They get the results on their face. They're like, this is the best. I don't want to use anything else. And so one of the things that my mom said to me, my recruiter said to me years ago, is you can sell them a mascara, but they're probably not likely to return as a loyal customer. You can sell them on a skincare set and they will eventually get on everything else. So I just thought I need to really make sure that I drill down on this and make it a priority that when I'm talking to them the first time, it's all about the skincare. It's all about the skincare. And so, by the way, in our national area, I don't know if you can see this or not, I should probably take one of them off, but we have bracelets. And so when you establish 25 skincare customers, you get this great bangle that says 25. And when you establish 50, you get a bangle that says 50. When you establish 75, you get a bangle that says 75. And I'm trying to take this off right now. And then when you establish 100 skincare customers, then you get to get your bangle that says 100 right there. It says 100. And so we want you to make sure that you're established. And this is just, you know, this is just a gift that we give you to celebrate you as you are building a strong, sustainable, successful business. And by the way, that's your Pearls of Sharing bracelet, your Pearls of Sharing earrings, and your necklace. And I bet you by now you've already earned your pearl set. If you're not sure about how to earn your pearl set, definitely talk to your sales director about that for sure. But we want you to build a strong, sustainable, successful money-making business. It's a business, right? And so we want those skincare customers. That's how you'll have number 1 brand loyalty in your customer base, is not through lipsticks and mascaras, but through the skincare sets. And you know, this is what I do know is faces will take you places in this business. And so to sell the product, and of course, what I'm about to go over with you, by the way, and the close of selling product, you can also find on my website under Pink Bootcamp, second session under Full Circle, and it's called When Holding Classes, You Have 4 Goals per class, 3 closes per guest. And so this is one of the closes. And so when I individually break after the class is over with, I take people individually, I take a break and pull people one-on-one, singly, as the hostess is presenting food and they're having a conversation, they're having a great time. And so I just tell every customer, oh, by the way, Sally, go ahead and grab your bag. Not go grab the bag, but go ahead and grab your bag with your name on it. Bring your customer profile, your sales ticket, your beauty book, and come sit with me in the kitchen or on the couch or wherever your individual clothes setting, wherever you set up, that's where you want to go. And so when I'm there with Sally, then there are a total of 4 questions or 4 statements that you'll want to make. And the first one is just simple. Did you have a good time tonight? Sally, did you have a good time tonight? and you let her respond. And then you just simply, I just kind of stroke my face and I'll say, how does your skin feel? Because again, it's all about the skin, right? I don't want to say, how do you like your look? I want to say, how does your skin feel? Because again, it's the focus on the skincare set. And then I'll just simply make a statement, Sally, you know your situation. I don't. And so whatever you choose is perfectly fine with me. So, and remember, at the end of your party, you're going to tell them all about the roll-up bag. So they're going to know about the roll-up bag, that there's the ultimate miracle set in the roll-up bag. So when I'm sitting down with them individually, and of course, the roll-up bag is on their lap and it's opened, and I'll just simply say, of course, the best value today, Sally, is that ultimate miracle set. And again, that set begins at $182. Or we can go ahead and get you started with the miracle set tonight. And that set, again, begins at $95. Or we can go ahead and get you started with the basic set. And of course, again, that set begins at $44. So Sally, which is best for you? So again, that's like the soldier who said, do you want one or do you want two? And so it's like, do you want to get started with the ultimate miracle set, which is your best value, begins at $182? Would you like to get started with a miracle set, which begins at $95? Or would you like to get started with a basic set tonight, which of course begins at $44? Which is best for you, Sally? And then I just kind of lean back and I just wait. Again, my sales director years ago said to me, don't speak. After you offer, don't say another word, even if you're sitting there quietly for, a minute or 2 or 3 or even 5 minutes, because they're thinking and they're deciding which is going to be best for them. And so, and I'm not, I just think I want to present the shoe. So I just presented the shoe. And then I take a step back just to see if it's something that they choose. And again, 9 times out of 10, if it's sitting in their lap, they just tried it, they felt it, they smelt it, they love it, they're going to take it home with them. 9 out of 10 people take home one of these sets, or 2 or 3 of the sets, all 3, the ultimate miracle set. But again, even in the beginning of my Mary Kay business, I've always sold a lot of product because I've only offered these 3 sets my entire career. Would you like A, would you like B, or would you like C? It's kind of like when someone invites you to a restaurant and they're like, oh, do you want to go eat? And you're like, yeah, where do you want to go? And they're like, I don't know. Where do you want to go? Well, I don't know. And before long, you decide not to go to dinner. And so, when my husband says, do you want Mexican food or Italian? I'm like, okay, so tonight let's do Mexican food. And then he'll say, okay, do you want Lupe tortilla or do you want La Hacienda? And I'm like, oh, let's go to La Hacienda tonight. And so choices, people 9 times out of 10 will choose a choice when given to them. Okay. So I offer the set, and then she might say, you know what, tonight, let's just do the miracle set tonight. And then at that point, as a professional beauty consultant with Mary Kay, one of the things that I want to do is I want to take a look back at her customer profile. I want to see how she answered the questions, because, or I want to listen really, really well during the party, because she might say something like, oh, my mascara, like during the party, is so clumpy now. I need a new mascara. So when she says miracle set, I can say, Sally, I want to remind you during the skincare class, you said your mascara is clumpy and old, and would you like to go ahead and add a mascara to that? Or she might have marked on her skincare profile that her lips are dry and chapped. And so you can say, Sally, I wanna just kind of bring you to your customer profile for just a second. And I noticed on this profile, you marked that your lips are dry and chapped. And today you got to try the satin lip set. Would you like to go ahead and add that set to your miracle set tonight? Again, it's like, would you like to go ahead and add that? Or you can mention something that their friends said to her, like, oh my gosh, Sally, that lipstick color is fabulous on you. And you can simply say, your girlfriends said how great that lipstick looked on you. Would you like to go ahead and add that to your order? If she says no once, then I might ask one more time, well, what about this? And if she says no twice, then that's when I say, okay, so we'll go ahead and get you started on this tonight. Now, I want to let you know that the moment she purchases the product, If it's the miracle set, I will take it out of the bag. I will put it in a plastic bag and hand her product. And of course, if it's the ultimate miracle set, I just hand over the miracle set to her. And so that's a lot of fun. And then at that moment, I go ahead and I take her money, and then I move on to the third goal in my Mary Kay business, which is, so 1 is referrals, 2 is selling the product, 3, of course, is scheduling that second appointment. And so I'm able to say to her, Sally, now that you purchased the product, we need to go ahead and schedule that second appointment to make sure that the product is working for you, that you get the results that I just promised you tonight. So let's go ahead and choose a day and a time that you believe will work best for you. And by the way, I'm going to mention something to you right now. Just a little bit ago in the group, I had asked for referrals, and on your index card, you were able to give me 10 names and numbers. And first, I just want to say thank you for really supporting me and my small business. And I'm excited because if we invite these girls to your second appointment and you have at least 5 that show up, I want to let you know I'm going to give you 50% off of anything that you choose to purchase at that appointment. So you can purchase skincare supplements. You can purchase that microdermabrasion you didn't take home with you tonight. You can purchase all of your color products. So anything you want, as long as you have 5 people in attendance, you'll get a 50% discount. That's why I've always chosen the number of people that will give them their discount, because I think as a professional beauty consultant, I'm going to do my job once they're in my presence. So if she has 3 people again that show up, that's a 30% discount. And I love asking for the referrals before I ever sit down with them individually. So that way they never say, well, I don't know anyone. And I'm like, I just automatically pick up their profile, their index card, their beauty of friendship sheet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you gave me 4 referrals. Let's invite these girls to your next appointment. And that way you can get, 40% off of any product purchase that day. How does that sound to you? And so that is why it's so simple for me to schedule second appointments with these girls, because they know that there's something in it for them, not just to fine tune their product, but they're going to get some product at a really great discount too. So that's the third goal of a party. So 1 is referrals, 2 is selling product skincare sets, 3 is making sure that you schedule those second appointments to be held with their friends that you haven't met yet. And then lastly is to simply say, Sally, and make it a priority to share the Mary Kay marketing plan with 100% of my customers. Mary Kay may or may not be for you, but bottom line, I get credit just for you to listen. And so I would love to either treat you to a cup of coffee, or I can even call you on the phone in the next 24 to 48 hours, tell you a little bit about the business. It takes 20 minutes, totally painless. You listen, give your opinion, and then we'll be done. So which is best for you, over a cup of coffee or over the phone? And so again, it's all about choices. Would you prefer to do your appointment by yourself, or would you like to share it with the 10 names and numbers that you gave me for a great discount? Which is best for you? Would you like to listen to the Mary Kay marketing plan over a cup of coffee, or would you like for me to call you over the phone for 20 minutes? Which is best for you? It's always choices, always choices. And so I want to share with you again the words, I make it a priority to share the Mary Kay marketing plan with 100% of my customers. Mary Kay years ago told us to select 1 or 2 people from every party that we have. And one of the things that I got very present 2 years ago is, I was choosing people at my party that seemed the most excited, but then what I realized is that I was missing opportunities, because just because someone wasn't loud, excited on the outward, I was missing people that were really truly excited on the inside. And so I thought, Lord, if you put them in my path, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do my job. And so from that point forward, I made it a point to say to people, I make it a priority. I just do this with everybody, all of my customers, which I do. And it's totally painless. It's 20 minutes over the phone or over a cup of coffee. You listen, give your opinion, and I get credit, which you do. You earn your pearls, and every month you get credit in your unit for doing interviews. And I'm like, I get credit just for you to listen, and totally painless. And I typically, by the way, I schedule those interviews 24 to 48 hours after the party is over with, because that's when you're still real fresh in their mind. And before they get back into their real world and before they lose excitement of the fun that they had at your party. So I really work hard again to just make it 24 to 48 hours. And then I just simply find out a lot about them, tell them about the business, find a need, take a lead, and tell them more, and see if Mary Kay, the business opportunity, is a good fit for them. Okay, so, and by the way, one of the skills that I'll be teaching in the very near future, or probably already on our website, is on team building. So I'm looking forward to teaching you more about that tip as well, that skill as well. So, here's the last thing I want to say to you is that, again, it is a car, and it's 4 wheels, and it's selling the product, asking for referrals, scheduling those second appointments, and scheduling those interviews. Wherever you want to go in your life, you can get there by doing full circle parties. No matter if it's a goal that you have in your business or a dream that you have for your family, the vehicle to making that happen are, again, the full circle parties. So I'm going to leave you with this thought, and that is, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the triumph over fear. And so with that being said, God bless you. I pray that you take this information, that you apply it, so that way you can have tremendous wins, win after win after win. And I can't wait to be able to see your dreams become a reality. So the one thing you must know is I love you big, and God bless you. And I'll be looking forward to hearing about all of your successes. So I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.